Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new channel and a brand new series. My name is Derpol and this is Atlantia. Right, so new channel, check. New series, check. New world, well, as you can see, not really, no. Me and my friend started this channel a few months back, and even though we were planning on doing videos on it from day one, things didn't quite work out that way. So here we are today, about 4 months later, and we're just gonna get going with it. I'll catch you guys up as quick as I can. We're gonna have some tours of my base and of the community areas. Now, of course, that means that there will be no day one tree punching. Ow, 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 ow. Nice. No day one dirt hut. And done. Nice. And no day one diamonds. Oh, yeah. Finally. Nice. Moving on. So without further ado, let's get into a base tour. Let's start with a storage system. It's a multi-item sorter. Rapscallions V4, I believe. Input chest. All the items go in here. There's 2 shulker box unloaders, and all the items get automatically sorted into their respective categories. We also have a refill station in the center here, where I can just get some of the items that I use very frequently. So I have it set up for torches, scaffolding, sticks, ender pearls, food, and rockets at the moment. I still have 2 open slots that I'm not sure what I want to use them for. And then, yeah, I got some workstations set up around the outsides here, which I tend to just swap around whichever workstations I need when I need them. If you come up with the honeyvator to the second floor, here, this is where I can come and fix up my categories for when I need to sort out some new things. I also have a few head displays here, which is still very lacking. I got a few from my server mates, which we'll hopefully get to meet at some point soon. We have DC. Let me just get the scaffolding out of my hand. DC over there. We have Calrissian and Chuck Boris, and that's me. Then if we take the honeyvator up one more level, we come to what is more of a, well, strategy and planning room for me. I have my to-do lists over on one side. I also have my farm checkboard on the other side with a map of my base. There's also a memorabilia board over here, so I guess I could show you guys quickly my first pickaxe, the Uga-Mini. We'll get into why it's called Uga-Mini in a bit. We have the Uga Shiny, my first diamond. Then a trophy from the dragon fight, my first end city that I raided. I kept one of the dragon heads for that. There was a PvP tournament that I participated in. Did not do very well. Not a PvP player myself. I also have some gifts that were left in my mail at some point, and a few memorabilias of Chuck's shenanigans with me, which again, I'm hoping as time goes on, I can get to fill you guys in on the events and what has happened. Oh, by the way, there's no roof, there's no outside builds on any of my builds that I'm going to show you. So far, everything has been more for practical use up until now. So I've built quite a few farms, but there hasn't been a lot of aesthetic builds going around, which is a good thing. It means that you guys haven't missed out on all that much. Of course, this is quite a bit of work. And yeah, digging the hole. I still have some of the flying machines up there, but I've taken out the TNT dupers. So yeah, you're still going to be around for a lot of the building. There's going to be a bunch more farms, obviously, especially in the Nether. I'm planning on doing a bunch of farms there soonish. I'm hoping, but we'll get to it when we get to it. So let's see, when we come down, I'm planning on turning this area into some kind of loading dock. As for the general theme of the city, which I should probably touch on first before I move on, I'm going for a cyberpunk city. The reason I dug it down into down all the way to bedrock is because I want really a really vertical feel to the city. Lots of layers, so industrial layer here, then maybe like a slum layer, then middle class, upper class, and then the ruling class, I guess, at the top. And as for the reason why I picked a mushroom biome for my base, it's, well, partly because I don't like bothering with baddies, but also because it gives me the opportunity to play around with lighting a lot more. And as time goes on, I want it to be a dark and dingy feel at the bottom of the city, especially. Maybe a little bit more light and vibrant at the top, but down here, definitely a lot more dark and dingy. And the mushroom biome just gives you the freedom to really play around with lighting. So let's see, what's next? I have a chorus fruit farm. There's also a, let me just show you around this way, a bit of a netherwort farm on this side. Very small. I should probably bump this up by quite a few more layers. We have a sheep farm producing all the colors of sheep. Along this way, we're working on a cactus farm. This is the Il Mango design, I believe. There's also a cocoa bean farm, which doubles as my 2 tall flower farm. Up here, I have a cobble and basalt generator, dual. It also doubles as my concrete converter. Over here, we have the super smelter. It's a 64 furnace array. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Nether tree farm, Rayworks design. This thing produces pretty much all the wood that I need. Although I do also have a wood farm here for when more for the aesthetic necessities of wood rather than crafting, which this infinitely just gives me as much as I need. Over here we also have a sugarcane farm, the new Tango design, which is fantastic and produces way more than I would ever need. Also made a little module on the side for some bamboo, because I really don't need that much, but this thing produces more than I would ever need. Inside here, we also have a little AFK vine farm. A few minor tweaks needs to be made to this to get it to work perfectly, but at the moment, I mean, it suits my needs. I don't use vines all that much, although I do sell them in my shop, but then again, that doesn't sell that much either. Up here, I have a small villager breeder. It's the new Logical Geek Boy design, which I find to be just fantastic. Got a drop shaft going down there, which I'll show you in a second. If you drop down here, all the babies funnel into that little baby sorter, ends up in this row, and then when I need to convert them, I can either send them to the full training course of 5 conversions, or I can send them to the 2-course short course. There's also an option to send them off untrained for when I just need them for farms. And once they're done converting, coming down all the way here, I can pick them a profession over here and send them on their way. At the moment, it doesn't go anywhere. I kind of just usually link it up to wherever I need to go before I start converting them. So far, the only villagers that I have placed into my base are my masons over here in a little masonry shop, I guess is what you'd call this. A little bricklayer shop. I think it came out quite nice. It's it's an extreme version of a brownstone, I'd say, which I think looks pretty neat. This one I'm not going to get into too much right now. It's going to be a bar, and it is going to be for my clerics. So I'll have a couple of clerics here to trade with, and I'll probably have a multi-brewing system in this hole over here. But we'll get to that shortly in one of the upcoming episodes, where we'll finish up this build, and we'll also obviously start to work on some of these. I have plenty of open projects on this server, and there are plenty of opportunities for us to work together. Come up here. This was my original, I'd say, intermediate base. I'll show you my original base from before. But what this was when I decided to move out to this island, I didn't want to be in the way of the TNT dupers, but I did need some kind of base of operations to work from out here. So I built this, which at some point I'm thinking about maybe turning into a lighthouse, because I'm planning on having a big harbor probably around the entire island. I feel like having the entire island surrounded by a massive industrial harbor might be the way to go for this. So yeah, I used to farm a few things down here, nothing crazy. Up here I had a very modern, minimalistic interior. Never got around to actually putting anything on this side of the build, but hey, whatever. Might finish this up in the future at some point. There was a bedroom in there. I used to have all my memorabilia on this side. Then we come up, and there was my little storage and workspace area. I had a small little furnace array and a trash can. So at some point, I'll probably come up here and put a big ass tower on top of this and yeah, turn it into a lighthouse, I guess. Then there's two more things to show you around my base. One is that I've recently dug out a slime chunk, just one. I think that's all I'll really need, especially when you're doing slime chunks out in the ocean, especially when you're close to a mushroom island. They're super, super efficient. So I honestly don't think I'll need more slime than this thing's going to produce. This I will finish up in an upcoming episode too. I know I'm going to be saying that a lot, but I'm planning on taking the series far. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities to be finishing the things that I haven't done recently. But what I'm planning on doing on the outside of this is making a water treatment kind of facility. So it'll be pumping out sludge into the ocean, obviously. So there will be lots of green, slimy sludge everywhere. And it's going to tie into the harbor build that's going around the island. And then one more thing, my mob farm. Now, this is my own design. I wouldn't say it's the most efficient design, but I find it to be very sufficient in that I get about, I'd say 12 stacks of gunpowder, 12 bones, 12 flesh, and what's the other big one? 12 string in an hour. And that's if I AFK up at, well, I'm not even sure what the height is, to be fair. In this little AFK box, which is around 200. So basically the way I designed this, is that this circle, including the black carpet, fits in about right at the bottom of 128 spawning sphere. And so it maximizes the amount of space that I have for mobs to spawn quite decently. And even though Wither Roses have been nerfed, mobs tend to move towards them pretty quickly. So if you just space them out one row apart, you actually end up with a very decent killing method and a pretty decent mob farm. So I have been emptying this out regularly, but let's see. Yeah, that's a decent amount. Same for the bones. Everything else is a little bit slower, but the string's still good. Obviously, I only keep one column of this, which I'm actually just keeping until I have my clerics. And then I probably won't need these anymore, just to level them up. And yeah, like I said, these ones haven't even been marked yet because the filters are still filling up with sugar and redstone and all that sort of stuff. And there you have it. That's a full tour of my base. I do still have one other thing that I would like to show you guys, which we'll get to in a minute, which is my starter base. But that's over at the community island, which is where we'll be going next. And welcome to the welcome center. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So this was at the start of the server where a lot of things were happening because it was the communal enchanting area. There were a couple of beds up at there still are a couple of beds up at the top for people who didn't quite have a place to sleep yet. Ooh, thunderstorm. I don't have time for that though. Anyway, this is the map of the island, and as you can see, it is gigantic. It really is the biggest mushroom island that any of us have ever seen. And here we are at the Atlantia Museum. It is modeled after the Pantheon, and I think it looks pretty sweet. We still need to finish up the gardens on the outside. Putting it in the video because I really want Cal to see it. Then here we have some displays of former event champions. Our dragon egg. Up top here, we will be putting in all the map art that gets created on the server. Hoping that starts up pretty soon. And down here, we're going to have a whole of all the players that have been on the server, plus some other wings for other exhibits and those sorts of things. So at some point, we're still planning on doing maybe a courthouse and a town hall and a few other things in the government district, which will benefit everyone with specific functions, which we'll get into when we get around to those projects. Then we also have this nice looking harbor here, which served quite a decent purpose at the start when people didn't have elytras and they were all just boating around everywhere. If we come around the back of it here, though, there is one thing I need to show you guys, and that is the Uga Cave. First few weeks on the server, I was caveman, and this was my base. You come down here, you'll see I have just a few little farming thingies, and I had a little smelter array and a bedroom, basic storage, and an enchantment setup. Portal was over there. And yeah, that for probably the first 2 months on the server, this was my base. So in terms of what you guys missed out on, not that much. So let's move on swiftly to the shopping district, because honestly, it's probably the biggest chunk of what we need to cover in this episode 1 server tour. The shopping district is everything south of this river, which still needs to be extended that way. If we come up, first shop we got is the tailor shop. This is run by Thora and Bean, and they do custom skins. And yeah, skin customization. You can order whatever kind of skin you want from them, and they'll go off and make you something nice. And then you have something to wear, I guess. Tailor shop. I mean, it is what it is. There's an ice shop modeled after a little ice cream truck, which I think is very cute. There is Cal and Cataclysm's tower, which they sell shulker box deals out of. There's a pharmacy, which is new, and I'm not sure who's building it or when it's going to be open. I'm assuming it's going to be a potion shop, but I'm not too sure. Then we have a bookstore, which is, yeah, that's a bookstore. There's an old wood shop that's kind of abandoned right now. Slime shop, which I'm sure you guys have seen on every server ever. But it looks good. Then we have an ore shop, which, yeah, as you would guess, sells ore. It even sells diamond ore. 5 diamonds for 2 ore. It's almost gambling if you ask me, but yeah. Then we have the end shop, which sells all your indie bits, as you would expect. Right, guys, so my first shop that I need to show you guys is the greenhouse. Come up this path. And yeah, we sell all your gardening things. So we have all the flowers, cocoa beans, cactus, flower pots, leaves, and assorted other planty bits. We also sell campfires, composters, scaffolding, which is basically garden furniture, and then a couple of blocks like coarse dirt, and grass. I'm pretty happy with this shop. It's one of my more complete builds, although there's still a little bit exterior work to be done. And most likely in a week or two, we'll probably end up decorating this as a Christmas tree, because if you look at it, there's just no way you can't do that as a Christmas tree, right? So let's just move over to this side, because I know you guys have probably spotted it already. We have a diamond pile, and yes, we are working off of the same shopping district rules as certain other servers do. Down here we have what I like to refer to as the Calrissian Pond, where we have a ink shop, guardian shop, honey shop, underwater themed all sorts of everything shop, and a few other bits and bobs. All made by Calrissian, all looking spectacular. Love the path that he has around here. There's also, let's see, what are we missing? Beacon rentals, elytra repair. I think that's a terraforming shop. That's a junk shop, which is basically just junk because he never finished it. This little beauty, and I say little very ironically, is the tech shop or redstone shop. Built by Coadia, recently opened. I think it looks awesome. And I'm definitely stealing some of this as inspiration for my cyberpunk base, because it is awesome. There's also a really cool glass shop up on that hill. And then we have a TNT shop and a mob drop and other rares sort of shop. So you got blaze rods and string and coal, but you also have netherite ingots, which he sold out on, and beacons, which are still expensive, rightfully so. Now we come to this beauty. It's Saya's nether shop, if you couldn't tell. And yeah, it sells everything nethery. So you got all your nether blocks, your nether goodies. I think at one point she was planning on selling pig step, but yeah, it's hard to come by. Here we have the wood shop, Lumber Chunk. Sells all the wood bits, your logs, wood, a couple of crafted wood type things. Here we have a hot air balloon, which sells emeralds, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, emerald blocks, actually. Well done. What's the price? 4 diamonds per stack. That's not bad. And then this gigantic store is earthenware, which is a building block shop. Basically, it sells pretty much everything, and I can't get in here. well, pretty much everything building block related. So you have powdered and solid concrete, terracotta, regular building blocks, and terraforming and decorating. Also has wool, and I think on the other side he has mini blocks. Yes, micro blocks. Well done. Oh, that's something I should probably mention, is that on the server we do run with a few vanilla tweaks data packs. We have the armor stands, the armor stand book. We have player heads, mob heads, multiplayer sleep, and let me just check. Wandering trader with the mini blocks. Yeah, of course. We got statistics and silence mobs. Yeah, that's everything we have. And yeah, they're fun. Vanilla Tweaks is so much fun. And then I guess the last shop I'll cover today is a brand new one that opened up recently. Again, not sure about an official name, but basically you can order different biome villages, which I think is a pretty cool concept. I've already ordered one of each of the ones that I needed, because basically what I'm planning on doing at my villager breeder is to have one of each in, and then just have random citizens get pooped out into my town. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll probably in the next episode funnel all of them into the breeder and get that sorted. Right, and now coming to the end of this road, we're moving into the minigames district. So each district has its own portal, and you can see this one's right here. So this is where the minigame district starts. What we have over here is the Halloween event that you first set up for us. And in a future episode, I might actually do a playthrough of this just so I can show you guys. But basically, yeah, you come in here and there's a book that leads you through a little quest line with some dialogues and some things like that. And when you come down into this hole here, I'll just show you guys a little bit of it, but I'm not going to play through the whole thing right now. You come down here and there's a witch's mansion, and then there's a path leading off this way to lots of other caves and interesting things. So yeah, like I said, in the comments down below, you guys can let me know if you want me to do that sooner rather than later, but at some point it will probably get done. Next up, we have Aces, which is a little poker hall and pool hall. Close the doors. So yeah, we got bartender, we got some people playing pool, and then we have stat poker, which is a ton of fun, and at some point we will most likely be playing this with some of the other server members. And last but not least is my favorite build of the entire minigames district, mostly because it's the biggest and because I built it, but this was a very cool project for me. It's a style that I don't normally build in. There was a lot of tricky geometry involved, so tricky I can't even say geometry. But yeah, so it's a Colosseum. A lot of the communal theme is going around Greco-Roman. So we have the Pantheon Museum over on the other side, and then we have the Roman Colosseum on this side. And a lot of our community builds is centered around that sort of thing, because we are, after all, Atlantia, which is the in our little lore of our server, it is the modern day version of Atlantis, the one that never sank. So that's what this island is meant to be in the long run. So yeah, we had one PvP tournament here, which was won by Leuphorus, if I remember correctly. And at some point we will, where's the winner? Yeah, Euphorus champion. So at some point soon-ish, we will be having our next PvP event in here. We'll probably change out the inside a little bit, and that will most likely be a boss fight between Euphorus as the boss, being the winner of the PvP tournament, and then everyone else that enters trying to knock him down a peg, I guess. All right, guys, I think I'm going to call this episode here. It's been a bit longer than I expected episode 1 to be, and I still need to go and edit, which is a brand new skill set for me. If you've made it this far into the episode, I thank you kindly. If you've liked it, please consider leaving a like. And if you want to join me on this YouTube journey, please consider subscribing. If you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them down below. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Have a great day. Goodbye.